What's up, babes? Um, it's been a day. It's been a week. It's been a month. It's been a year. It's been a lifetime. So, a few things we're gonna do on the show today. Here for the next 25 minutes, and then I will be over on the World Girls talking about what's going on in May. But for here, a few different things. Number one, I'm gonna give you guys some love life updates because I guess there are some, so we can talk about it. You want to talk about it? Let's talk about it. Also, today is May 1st. And for those of you guys who are extremely privileged, you might not really know the significance of it being May 1st. For those of you who are like me, you know what May 1st is. May 1st is the first of the month. What happens on the first of the month? Let me tell you. Rent. Rent is due. Health insurance is due. Car insurance is due. Payments are all due. So, this morning I'm feeling incredibly stressed because we just have to pay our taxes 2 weeks ago, which is a whole added thing. And I was like, oh, okay, Rox, you just gotta write some checks that we'll see if you can cash. And so making all my payments, doing all the things that I swore I was going to do. It's been hard to work recently because I've been working so hard on my crust roll and been spending so much time on that, which I'm stoked about. But uh, I've been working my ass off, and you know, it's just a lot. I'm doing a lot for exposure right now, and not a lot for my wallet. Even yeah, like I was in a live show on Friday with everybody. And that was hours and hours, which was fucking awesome. It was so great to see everybody. And I'll talk about that in a little bit. But, just there's certain things happening right now where it's just like, okay, the wallet is feeling very light. So I was like, okay. So I finally handled all my stuff this morning. I was like, okay. And my friend Ash is staying with me right now. And I was like, okay. So I have a lot of work I have to get done today because I really need to pedal to the metal. I know I've got to be back in time for 6:30 to do, I'm doing a World Girl stream. So I was like, Ash, do you want to go to the beach and work? Let's go work in Malibu. And let's just go work there for the day. So at least we can be, somebody gave me the tip the other day, like when you have miserable things that make you miserable and you don't want to do them. And this was maybe a year ago, not the other day. Pair them with the things you do want to do so it makes it less miserable. So, like if you don't love being on the treadmill, but you do love reading a book, maybe read a book on the treadmill so it makes you like the treadmill a little more. Things like that. So I was like, okay, if I have to be doing all of my bills and streams and invoices and all this shit today, then maybe I can do it by the beach. So I'm like, okay, great. So we get my car and immediately I turn it on. I'm like, what the fuck is that? And a light comes on that I've never seen before. And it is my coolant light. So I'm like, huh. And then I see my coolant is all the way down at 0. And I'm like, should we go to Malibu? And then I was like, feels like something's wrong. So I was like, let me just get it to Valvoline and see if they can just fill up my coolant and maybe that will be okay. So I get to Valvoline and I was like, oh, well, I'm here. You know what? It has been 6 months. Let me get my oil changed. So I pay the $100 to get my oil changed. By the way, because I have to do synthetic, hot tip for everybody, Groupon, Valvoline, I always Groupon it. It gives you 40% off. So it's usually like 170 or whatever, but I got it for 100. So I was like, okay. And I'm like, that's great. Let's just, let's fill up my coolant and let's just see what happens. So they put coolant in it and they're like, you're good to go. And I'm like, oh, amazing. See, everything's great. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to do an oil change because I'm going to be responsible and it sucks to pay the $100, but it's been 6 months and you're supposed to do it every 3 months. So, okay, let me just, I usually take pretty good care of my car. So let me change my oil. So doing the oil change and they go and they said, you have a leak. And I was like, what's that mean? They're like, it's really bad. It's like gushing, dripping. Your car is actually not drivable. And I was like, "What do you mean? I just took it here." And they're like, "There's a shop around the corner. We recommend you pull it into the shop because something's wrong." And I was like, but I wanna go to Malibu." And there was a special on a soup, half sandwich, $15 special. I was really excited for it. It was zucchini soup and a brisket sandwich. I was, like, waiting for it all day. I was like, "Okay, so what are we gonna do?" Streamlabs.com/Roxy So, pull it into the shop next door. They were like, "They're really nice guys. Go ask for this guy. He's really, really nice." And then we look it up on Yelp, and they have great reviews. And I was like, "Okay, okay." So, bring it there, and they're like, "Oh, we call, and they said, 'Yeah, you can bring it in, but everybody leaves for lunch now, so they won't be able to look at it until 3.' And it's 2. But what are we gonna do?" So we bring it there. So we sit inside the place for an hour, and then when they come back from lunch, they're like, "We have 3 people in front of you to look at, but we will look at you." So we wait. And then it gets to be about 4 o'clock, and they come out and they said to me, um, "There's nothing you could have done. You have been maintaining your car very well. However, your water pump is leaking." To me, that sounded pretty, and I was like, "Oh, great. Easy. My water pump. Water pump sounds cheap, right?" It's like, "Great, great." They're like, "This is a big, big job." Those are the words out of her mouth. She said, "This is a big, big job." It's a big, big job. She said, "Yeah, this is gonna be 8 hours of work because the way that your car is set up, a lot of other cars will be a couple hours, but the where your pump is, we're gonna have to replace your gasket, we're gonna have to replace your pump, pump belt, thermostat. Um, the leak is bad, and this car is not drivable. You cannot drive it off of the I mean, you could try, but then you'll fuck up your engine." And she was like, "Again, the labor is $180 an hour, and so this is gonna." And I said, "So are we talking about hundreds?" And she said, "We're talking about this is gonna cost you thousands of dollars." And I said, what are my options?" And she said, "Have a car, don't have a car. There's no options here." So then we started like looking at other places and other prices, and this was totally fairly priced. Um, and I was like, "Fuck." And she was like, "And we're gonna have it for days." So now it's gonna cost me thousands of dollars. They have my car for days. I have to be Ubering around to work, which also costs a ton. And I didn't do anything. That's like the frustrating part, like if you get in an accident, you're like, fuck, but like you either did something, somebody else did something. Like, she said that this is just wear and tear and it happens. I've had my car for 8 years and I'm not under warranty anymore. And so insurance doesn't deal with it. And I just looked at her and I'm like tearing up. She's so lovely. And I felt bad, but I was like, how do people do this? Like, how can you just all of a sudden owe thousands of dollars on something? That's crazy. Like, what? She was like, "I know." She was like, "I had a single mom in here the other day, and um, she had, I guess, a big deal recently has been that a lot of the Priuses are getting their Cadillac converters stolen." And she was like, "It's $4,000, and because of that the fact that it's theft, usually insurance covers it, but she didn't have insurance at that moment. And she's a mom, and she's trying to take care of her kid, and now it's $4,000, and there's just nothing we can fucking do." And I was like, "Oh my god." Just sucks. Like, yeah, it's gonna be about 2K, and it's like, that's so much money for something that, like, I was going in hoping that it was gonna be like, I looked up before I went because they said that I had a leak, so I looked up, coolant leak, and there's this thing, I forget what it was called. Oh, like the water, oh, it was it's like called the tunnel or something, whatever the fuck it's called. I was like, okay. And I looked up, it was $40. I was like, okay, so maybe it's $40, maybe it takes them an hour to do. So maybe this could cost me a couple $100. Fuck my life. And then it was like, what the fuck? Can you guys relate? Mm, let me know. Also, after the show on Friday night, so there was, and now, not also. that's the end of that story. I'm gonna tell you the other things that have been happening the last couple of days. Again, send support, send that love, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Appreciate you guys. Yay, 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 yay. So here are the other things. Friday night, we did a show, the big thing, and it went very well, I thought. We sold well over 100 tickets. The audience was great. I got to see a lot of you guys. People at home watched it as well. I was just so fucking stoked to be with everybody, and uh, it was a lot of fun to be there. And I love performing live, and I thought that everybody did such a great job. I was so proud of Winston, who hadn't been up in years, and I thought he crushed. I'm always just wildly impressed with Steph. Obviously, she's so fucking good, and I was so grateful to Christian that he put the whole thing on. Everybody, I was just happy. It was cool. A couple of my friends came, which was really nice, especially because I was only in 15 minutes of a 2-hour show, and my friends don't know the nerd world at all, so they probably were like, "What the fuck is happening here?" But they were so great. Um, when I left that night, I don't know whether it was because it was just like I was on for so many hours, not on stage, but just like I stayed afterwards for a meet and greet, which I wasn't supposed to be a part of, but I wanted to do right by everybody and, try to be nice about everything and wanted to see you guys. So stayed for a long time. And then like when I left, I was like, I don't know. I feel fucking like not well. And I was like, I don't know whether and the air had been really shit in LA. And I was like, I don't know whether I'm coming down with something or allergies, or it was just overwhelming to be with all these people. So the last few days I felt like absolute shit. And I can't really tell, like, I go from being stuffed to not. It doesn't feel, it's obviously I tested for COVID. It's not COVID. I don't feel sick. I just feel like loopy and fucked up and just whatever. And I had a business dinner on Friday. That I went to, and then last night I went on a first date, which I'll tell you guys about also. But this morning I was like, Rox, you really, because the last couple days you've been out of it. Today you really have to hit the ground running with work, and then my car, and it was just like, when it's not one thing, it's a fucking other thing. So, um, yeah. Anyway, do you guys which aspect of all the things I've told you in the next 10 minutes do you want to hear about? Streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer, super chat in. See a couple of you guys being like, it's in the air right now. And I know, like, for a lot of my friends right now, it's not just one thing, it's like 15 things. And I know it's not just me. It's a lot of people where right now when it's raining, it's pouring. When I left the car shop, I was like, you know what? I'm okay. I'm going to figure this out. Nobody's hurt. Nothing is like not manageable. I'm going to be able to figure this out. It's okay. And I was really proud of myself because I was like, even though I'm stressed out right now, like, there's a lot of fucked up shit going on in my life and other people's life. This is truly okay to have to figure out a couple K. That's truly okay. Like, so many people right now are super sick, really injured, like all of that. And I feel for everybody. Just keep getting all my friends and all these calls about like one thing after the other. And it's like, okay, so if something's okay, then just has to be okay. I don't know if anybody relates to that at all. Streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Massive support on this May 1st. Coming in from our first Streamlabser of the day, our only Streamlabser of the day, Steven Summers. Thank you so much for this big support. I'm so grateful. It will go straight to me receiving my car again when I get it in a few days. Steven says, sorry, I haven't been around for you and the World Girl streams, but life can really sneak up on you. That's so true. Extra sorry about the car. As a distraction, do you have an in-canon reason for why Ross never had Ben meet Emma on Friends? That still keeps me up at night. You're so awesome. Thank you for the support, and thank you for the distraction. People have asked this question so many times, and there's obviously a lot of behind the scenes things that we could come up with, but an in-canon reason, maybe after Ben did all those tricks where he had Rachel roll the coin and all of that, he was like, he's not mature enough to have a baby sister yet, so we can't have them meet for at least a few years till Emma's old enough to fend for herself. That would be my in canon response. Doesn't really make sense, but that is my response. It is the mash. It is the monster mash. The monster mash. Graveyard smash. The monster mash. I already told you guys this, but if you are a patron of the World Girls, patreon.com/the World Girls at the $10 and up tier, then you can join me in 15 minutes. I'm going to be going live. We're going to be talking about, on the Patreon, we're going to be talking about May. So I'm going to check my shit at the door, and I want to talk about what TV shows are on in May, finales of shows that are on in May, movies that are coming out in May, holidays that are in May, shit happening in your life in May. Just, it's gonna be May. That's Dee's least favorite thing that anybody does, but hey, I did it anyway. And also, yeah, here, you guys tell me, streamlabs.com/Roxy Striar, super chat in. Would you like to hear about the fact that I start shooting Crust in a few days? And it starts shooting tonight. Do you want to hear about the date? Do you want to hear about more about the show, behind the scenes of the show, more about the car? You guys run the show. Be the voice of the people, etc., etc. Streamlabs.com/Roxy Striar on this May 1st. Thank you so much to the support coming in. Jake Yacovetta, who I just saw this weekend, was so happy to hug you. He said, still in LA for a couple more days. It was great seeing you again. Oh, I didn't know you were still here. That's awesome. What are you doing while you're here? Lloyd in the Streamlabs 2023 Lloyd, he is not old school Lloyd. He's new Lloyd. He's 2023 Lloyd. Don't fuck with him. He says Team Striar. Thanks. Lloyd, why are we off of Team Steez recently? Or are you still on Team Steez, but just Team Steez and Team Striar? Paul through JP says, might be late, but what did you think about Guardians of the Galaxy? Dark, am I right? Hi, Paulo. You're not late. Has it even come out yet? Did it come out this weekend or next weekend? Whatever. I really liked it. It was dark. I don't think it's out yet, so I won't give spoilers, but I loved it. That was really, really solid. It was dark, but it was also still very funny. Yes. And thank you to everybody who's in the show right now. Like I said, if there's something you are hoping that I talk about, then Streamlabs in. Request it. Recuérdame. It is so weird not having a car, because I was like, okay, you know what I can't do? Drive to go see my grandparents, drive to go get ice cream, drive to go pick up food, drive to the grocery store, drive to go get my nails done, drive to work. Like, you don't even realize how many times a day you get in your car till you don't have one. And you're like, so I'm just grounded. Feels like being a little kid being sent to your room. It's like, but what do I do here? There's a whole world. There's so many things out there. I have to go do them. How do I function here? Oh. Am I in a singing mood? I guess it's just kind of what's happening today. I'm on my 15th cup of tea. Ash in the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Striar says, hey, but most importantly, he did hey for $4.20. That's some 420 love. Hey, boy, hey. Hey is for horses. Did you guys ever have people who said that to you? You'd say hey, and they'd say, hey is for horses. So weird, the dad jokes that the universe has adopted and we just kind of accept. Hay is for horses. The one that I always say when people say that is intense, and I say camping. Get it? Intense. Why? Don't know. That one just stuck with me. Some of the dad jokes just stick with me. I am going to be live for Patreon for the World Girls in 10 minutes. So I'm only going to be here for 5 more minutes. So if there's something you want to know and you got to let it show, then put your left hand down, put your right arm out, put your left hand in, and you shake it all about. You do the hokey pokey, you turn yourself around. That's what it's all about. You do the hokey pokey. Jake, is today your birthday? Is that true? On May 1st? I feel like and we should have good luck today. And how did I not know that? Although what? The May 1st is a Taurus thing, so that means you're stubborn, which makes sense, right? That's that checks out. Wow, it's almost my brother's birthday. What the fuck am I gonna get him? Any ideas for what to get my brother for his birthday? I gotta think about it. Oh, Jake says no. LOL, it's the 9th. Oh, why is everybody wishing you a happy birthday? They just all made it up. Well, happy early birthday. I was like, I feel like I'd know. Okay. Mosh pit in the circus was intense. Like camping. Shout out to everybody in the Streamlabs today, to Steven Summers for that massive thank goodness support, Jake Yakavetta for that pre-birthday support, Lloyd Nance for that Team Stryer support. He ain't regular Lloyd, he's 2023 Lloyd. Apollo 3JP for honestly, you guys might not be happy with it, but from being one of the most consistent men in my life. He's just might not like it, but he's consistent. And for Ash, for that 420 Greens love. Speaking of the Streamlabs, Mike Joyce with that big ass support. Yes, Mike, let's go to the car fund. He says, here's my contribution to the Fix Roxy's car fund. I'm interested in your date you went on. Hopefully it was a good one. All right, I got you, Mike. Thank you for this, Streamlabs. Really appreciate you. You are the fucking shit. That will go right towards helping get my car out. All right, here we go. One more time, everybody feeling fine. I went on a date last night, a first date, and I had gone on a second and a third date with somebody else last week. But he seems, I don't know if he's out of the picture now or whether he's just taking some time. I don't know what's happening with him, but I've been hearing much less from him, getting much more of a watered down version of him, the other guy. So I'm like, okay, either somebody's all about me or they're not. So anyway, I saw a different guy last night, and this is a guy I've been talking to for weeks, but he was out of town, so we weren't able to make it work. And then he had a friend in town, and then one thing, another thing, blah 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 blah. But we finally saw each other last night, and there were some really cool things about him. It was a long date. We went to a bunch of different spots. Took me to a really cool Korean barbecue place that I hadn't been to. That was super sick. Although I reeked of smoke afterwards and was like, I don't smell sexy anymore. Yeah, he was such a gentleman, opened my door, which I know doesn't sound like a big thing, but doesn't happen a lot in LA. He's from the East Coast. His family lives in Mass. So that was cool for me too. And he was really, really like just a gentleman, interesting life story, has a lot going on, a very, very full life. And I'm finding that that's one of the things about dating in your 30s that can be challenging is that like when you have built an entire full life for yourself, as I have for myself and as he has, or a lot of people have, it's very hard to merge it. Like when I was dating in my 20s, you kind of grow a life together. Now it's like, how do you merge two full lives? He texted me today, which I appreciate. I always like a next day text. I think it's ludicrous, the like wait 3-day thing. If you've waited 3 days, you're fucking gone. So yeah, there was some like meh things that he said where I was like, huh, and I called him out on them, and we'll see. Hopefully if the cards are right, we go out for a second date. I get to know him better. And I'll keep you guys posted if I go on another date with the other guy. But he hasn't, I don't know, he's not been as communicative or like about me recently. And still in my soul, I'm still just like really fucking bummed about the whole Canada situation. So anyway, trying to put myself out there. It's very difficult for those of you guys who try as well, it's like, it's fucking hard. It's hard to just keep at it. And I think that I'm having a more challenging time than many. But hey, some of you guys are too. Ryan Payne in the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Schreier says, it was great seeing you this weekend. Yeah, it was so great to see you too, even though you know what happened. Quick distraction before I fell asleep. LOL. Oh my God. I looked over at Ryan, guys, in the back, and his eyes were closed. He was completely passed out during the show. You've been praising Bel Air, and while it's not my cup of tea, Jake showed me the first 2 episodes, and I'm going to plan to watch the first season this month. Favorite characters. Oh my God, I think it's so good. I love Bel Air. My favorite character is Will. I think that Jabari Banks is a star. I fucking love them all, though. Hillary is so great. They're all great. I love all 3 of the siblings. I love Will. I love both of the parents, Viv and Phil. I love his actual mom. I love it. I just love. Jazz, I love them all. I can't pick a second favorite, but Will's my favorite. I think that he is just a true star. Really, really good. Who in here is going to join me over on Patreon for the World Girls to talk about everything happening in May? Let me know. Would love to hear. And then I'm going to get out of here. If you're watching this after the fact and you're like, ooh, let's help Roxy fix her car, streamlabs.com/Roxy Schreier. I will read your comment on the next episode. Might do one tomorrow. Depends on how the car switches. If not tomorrow, then soon. Wednesday, I'll be here for the World Girls. We're going to be talking about a Guardians of the Galaxy ranking. Who's the best character? Thursday, I tape. You'll see me for the big thing. And then Thursday, I tape Real Rejects. And then Friday, I think we're maybe taking OSA off, or he's putting together a compilation or something. I'll keep you guys posted. All right, so long farewell to you, my friends. Goodbye for now until we meet again. Stay safe, stay sane, put down the toilet seat and lid. You don't want those flumes. Don't tremble the Holocaust. Justice for all the people who lost their lives due to excessive force. My body, my choice, wherever you're on the rainbow. We love you. I love you. Stand with the women of Iran, some of the bravest women we've ever seen. And Golden Sparkles. Glenn, my dude, think about you every fucking day. Love you, man. Thank you, Dan the man. He says, dating is hard. Just broke it off 2 weeks in. Oof, it's tough. It's tough, man. At least you didn't ghost, though. If the person's not right, you're always able to leave. But ghosting, that's some shady ass shit. Oh, good luck to everybody. And I'll see you patrons over in the World Girls in a couple minutes. Later.